I do want to take a moment to bring you up to date on the very significant threat to our forests faced by rapid Ohia death. You all provided $750,000 per year in the current budget for 2 years, and so thank you very much for that. We've been able to use this work to support ongoing efforts for research and control and public outreach and surveying and monitoring. So the bad news is that we have now confirmed rapid Ohia death in North Kohala. This happened really just recently in the past year. This is the area of greatest concern for the potential for wind-blown spread of this fungus to East Maui Forest. Can you borrow this for a second? My notes are coming out. And so because of the urgency of this threat, Governor Ige just released $1.2 million in restricted DOFA funds. The 5% restriction, we asked for it to be released for the purpose of addressing rapid Ohia death. So he just did that. Actually, it was just announced today. And that's for us to be able to step up these operations for research capacity and survey and outreach. And so we're going to be contracting the Carnegie Institute to conduct additional aerial surveying for both Hawaii and Maui using cutting-edge spectroscopy and LiDAR technologies. And those surveys are going to be flown this month, and they're going to complement earlier surveys. We're also continuing to do helicopter surveys. We need additional lab technicians for plant pathology and for genetic work, and also for geospatial data management. We have a huge amount of data collected from these surveys, and we really need to be able to interpret it in order to focus our efforts. We are continuing with public outreach, PSAs, and we also are using extra funding for equipment for continuing to do containment trials on Hawaii Island to try to cut down the trees that are infected and try to keep that fungus from spreading.
Just wondering if any of your plant pathology person tried to look at damages done by the VOG. And reason it brings to mind that if you travel up before the rapid Ohia took place, that when you went up to Volcano, you'd see the ginger plants damaged. And I think that was kind of due to the VOG. I was just wondering if there was any relationship with VOG.
Sure. We haven't seen a direct relationship between VOG and the fungus that causes rapid Ohia death. However, there are a lot of dead Ohia trees out there, and not all of them come back positive for rapid Ohia death. And it has been hypothesized that in some areas, like in Ka'u, VOG might be playing a role, but it's very difficult to determine whether the VOG actually is the cause for the tree. And since we've been focused on the pathogen, and those areas have been somewhat limited, we haven't seen an interaction.
So the plan is, I know you're doing a lot of work. You're taking pictures, you're tracking the regions, but I kind of noticed that there's not too many damages traveling up Saddle Road and heading up towards the mountain on DKI Highway. I was just wondering if maybe because of the cooler weather there, was it more profound there as well?
So we haven't noticed a relationship with elevation or temperature for the disease. There actually is definitely pockets of rapid Ohia death along Saddle Road. So it's there. It just hasn't been to the level that we've seen in areas like Puna, where we get levels of 90% mortality in stands, but it is present there.
Okay, Chair mentioned in the slide that it already has entered North Kohala. And North Kohala doesn't have that much Ohia as in the Waimea area. Can you tell me where it's affected more in North Kohala?
Okay, there's only one infestation that has been found in North Kohala, and it's on a private ranch, and it's about 200 acres. It's also about 30 miles away from the nearest south of their infestation. So it's somewhat isolated, and it's not expansive. There still are lots of areas of healthy Ohia forest in Kohala that have not been impacted.
So what are the plans like? I mean, you're keeping track of it. Mm-hmm. So is that, are we looking at some sort of anti-fungus thing or how to revive the forest?
Mm-hmm. Sure. We've looked at the use of fungicides. However, it's very difficult to deliver those chemicals on a forest-wide basis. And so what we're trying to do in these isolated pockets is contain the pathogen within the trees. The pathogen is actually inside the trees. And so if we can keep those from being damaged by beetles or cattle, say, then we feel like it's unlikely to get into the environment and spread on the wind.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Chair.